The Lord's Resistance Army LRA Insurgency, a story of terror and resilience. It was the year 1987, and the world was unaware of the terror that was about to unfold in northern Uganda. The Lord's Resistance Army LRA, led by Joseph Kony, a self-proclaimed prophet, emerged from the shadows, determined to overthrow the Ugandan government. The LRA's ideology was rooted in a twisted interpretation of Christianity, mixed with local traditions and mysticism. Kony claimed to have received visions from God, instructing him to establish a theocratic government in Uganda. The LRA's early attacks targeted government forces and civilians in northern Uganda. The rebels would often raid villages, killing and abducting people, mostly children and teenagers. The victims were forced to become soldiers, porters, or sex slaves. As the insurgency spread, the LRA's brutality intensified. They began to mutilate their victims, cutting off ears, lips, and limbs. The rebels also forced their captives to commit atrocities against their own families and communities. The Ugandan government, led by President Yoweri Museveni, responded to the LRA's attacks with military force. However, the government's efforts were often ineffective, and the LRA continued to terrorize northern Uganda. In the late 1990s, the LRA began to expand its operations into neighboring countries, including the Democratic Republic of Congo, the Central African Republic, and South Sudan. The rebels established a network of hidden camps and supply routes, making it difficult for governments and international organizations to track them down. The LRA's most notorious atrocity was the massacre of over 300 people at the Barlonio refugee camp in northern Uganda in 2004. The rebels attacked the camp, shooting and burning people alive. The massacre was widely condemned, and it led to increased international pressure on the Ugandan government to end the conflict. In 2008, the Ugandan government launched Operation Lightning Thunder, a military campaign aimed at defeating the LRA. The operation was supported by the United States, the European Union, and other international partners. However, the operation failed to capture or kill Joseph Kony, and the LRA continued to carry out attacks in the region. In 2011, the United States deployed military advisors to Uganda to help the government track down Kony and his top commanders. In 2012, the Invisible Children organization released a documentary film called Kony 2012, which highlighted the LRA's atrocities and called for international action to stop Kony. The film went viral, and it helped to raise awareness about the conflict. Despite the increased international attention, the LRA continued to operate in the region. In 2013, the African Union launched a regional task force, a military operation aimed at defeating the LRA. The operation was supported by the United States, the European Union, and other international partners. Today, the LRA is still active, although its numbers have dwindled significantly. Joseph Kony remains at large, and his whereabouts are unknown. The conflict has left deep scars on the people of northern Uganda and the wider region. The LRA's insurgency has resulted in the deaths of over 100,000 people, the abduction of over 60,000 children, and the displacement of millions of people. The conflict has also had a devastating impact on the economy and infrastructure of northern Uganda. As we reflect on the LRA's insurgency, we remember the victims, the survivors, and the families who have been affected by this conflict. We honor their resilience, their courage, and their determination to rebuild their lives. We also recognize the efforts of the Ugandan government, the African Union, and international partners to end the conflict. We acknowledge the challenges that remain and the need for continued support and commitment to bring peace and justice to the people of northern Uganda. The story of the LRA's insurgency is a reminder of the devastating impact of conflict on civilians, particularly children and women. It highlights the need for urgent action to prevent and respond to humanitarian crises. As we share this story, we hope that it will inspire action, solidarity, and support for the people of northern Uganda and the wider region. We hope that it will remind us of the importance of protecting human rights, promoting justice, and upholding the dignity of all people. To stay informed about rich and complex history of Africa, to discover the fascinating stories and events that have shaped Africa's history, follow Chronicles of African History for engaging content, and like, share, and subscribe to stay up to date. Thank you